Hello, my lovely Leos. I'm a Leo. I love you guys, but we are in our head too much sometimes, aren't we? All right, Leos. This is your homework family reading for the month of January as we begin this year. Right now, we are walking through our sixth house. But before I get into all of that, I want to do a little bit of a spew that I'm doing on all of these readings because I haven't done homework family readings in about 2 years, and I'm bringing them back now. There is kind of a way that you need to look at these readings on a universal scale. Well, not just a universal spirit, my guides have informed me more or less when we look at astrology and we look at our life, technically there is at any given time 5 charts that are running for any person at any given time. But usually we only look at your natal chart, your transiting chart. Sometimes we look at the universal chart. But in truth, there's one of the reasons why I'm forever saying is the cycles upon cycles upon cycles is because really, truly, it is. And the easiest way for me to approach in a universal reading, going after all 5 charts at once, is this way. And the reason I'm saying it is don't look at it as a horoscope, but look at it more like the line of sun, moon, and rising. So if you are a sun Leo, I'm looking at your core energy, the core of the compass of what you are right now and what you're walking through. And that's basically what this energy is going to be speaking to you about of this reading. Now, if you are a Leo moon, I'm addressing more of your emotional state of mind and your physical body state of mind. And if you are a Leo rising, I'm talking more about your view of life, your 3D ideal, your three-dimensional realism. And what I mean by that is this is where your manifestation takes place, how you think, what you believe. So the way you're viewing it is bringing it into reality. And then I'll apply it to the information that I'm giving you as you start to walk through these readings. So if you are a Leo sun, but you are a Pisces moon, then go back and listen to the Pisces reading from the understanding you're listening to it from an emotional state of mind so that you can see how much it applies versus the other and go with the one that fits you best because you will understand it that way the best. With that being said, I am also open for readings, but if you are interested in them, please check out the box, the description box and the information because like I said, the only way I can touch base is to go from a universal standpoint to cover so many people at this time. As well as you may be interested in my Etsy shop where I have all of my other products and stuff, and all of that information is right there too. All right, Leos, you are in your sixth house. This is the energy you are walking through right up until approximately the 21st when the sun leaves Capricorn. And then it's moving into your seventh house. So right now, what you're looking at is what I call the mundane. And it's one of the most important houses, but we don't tend to view it that way because we view the mundane incorrectly. There's absolutely nothing that is mundane about the mundane. It is some of the most important and powerful things within our life, but we do it so much, so repetitively that we forget to acknowledge how important it is. Every day you get up and you eat. Every day you get up, you take your shower. Every day you get up, you brush your teeth. Every day you get up, you go to work. You do the things that you do in life. And are these things that we are doing in life supportive for us? Are they helping us grow? Are they helping us stay healthy? Are they helping us in our mind and our spirit? The mundane absolutely is not mundane. It is your daily work, your service, your diet, your healthcare, your hygiene. It is your careers. It is your tasks. I tell people all the time The people, places, and things of energies that you consume actually are consuming you. So, what are you consuming? Because that's what you are actually becoming. And that is some of the most important things for you to acknowledge, especially right up until the 21st. I mean, and then it moves into the seventh house. And as you have the full moon coming up on the 17th, it is in direct opposition. Where is my notes? Yeah, it's in direct opposition of this, meaning that full moon's going to be touching base on your 12th house. And then asking your 12th house to make you evaluate your daily mundane, the people, places, and things of energies that you consume, which consume you. The 12th house is your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities. It is the skeletons in the closet. It is what you sweep under the rug. But just because you swept it under the rug does not mean that it's gone. It just means that it's hiding. It just means that it's out of sight, out of mind. But that does not mean that it really is out of mind. It's in denial. And these things are going to be finding a way to show up. This is your 12th, not your 12th house happens to be am I right? No, it's your first house. But in a form, it still follows the same idea because your first house is in opposition of your sixth house. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. No, your 12th house. Duh, I'm looking at Cancer. I've been doing too many readings. Um, your Cancer in general, is your 12th house, where the moon will be. An emotional state of mind. It's a water in a water. So it's going to be hitting your emotional state of mind and what your daily mundane is working for or working against. And where are you responsible for what you're creating because of that daily mundane? Cancer is I like to nest energy. I like to nest and I like to covet, more or less, energy. So, what in your grief, your sorrow, your shame, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities, what are you coveting? What are you actually protecting, but you're actually not healing? What of that denial are you coveting so much that you keep it swept under the carpet? That the only way for the universe to bring it to your attention is through your people, places, and things. This is going to be a mirroring effect for you. And the full moon is going to take place on the 17th. Not to mention that, like I said, your sixth house right now, which is Capricorn, is freaking loaded. And you're probably all over the place. I know I am. You're probably all over the place as far as your health, your diet, your hygiene, you're taking care of yourself, you're being a responsibility for your daily tasks, and like completely on in one area and completely off in the other, and is what I'm trying to say. Because you have the sun here, you have Pluto here, again up until the 21st, you have Venus here, you have Juno here, and you also have Vista here in that sixth house, your daily mundane tasks. The people, places, and things of energies that you consume you. So you're extra sensitive about what is happening in these tasks, your daily mundane right now. You are looking for comfort. At least I am. I'm seeing it, is what I'm saying. You're probably looking for comfort because Venus is your emotional sensitivity. Venus will tell you what you love and why you like it, why you want more of it. But Venus at the same time will tell you when it's when it's betrayed you, when it's lied to you, when it's manipulated you, and how it hurts you and why. Then you have, like I said, Juno, which is the sacrifice and the commitment it takes within these mundane tasks to make it come to something good. Meaning sticking to the right repetitive energies. Y'all who have followed me for a while know that I'm pre-diabetic, and let me just tell you, ever since Christmas, I have not been able to get my shit right. I am eating everything that's wrong because that's where I just realized I'm in my comfort zone, and it's actually harming me. They always say your comfort zone does not help you. This is part of what I'm trying to say. Maybe not the same situation for you, but your daily mundane tasks. Some people spend every day jogging. Some people spend it at the gym. Some people get into music. Some people are into art. Some people's hobbies, you know, do different things. Some people spend all every day at the bar. Some people spend all of their time gambling. What are you putting your people, places, and things of energy into? Because that's what you're consuming, which ultimately is consuming you. So this is where we need to look at right now. When you go into the 12th house, it's going to be showing you where, especially as we come to that full moon, where you're not admitting, where you're in the denials of it, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities. Where are you coveting what you're not healing? With that being said, you have Jupiter, which has now moved into your 8th house, which is Pisces. You have a very dreamy idea of relationships. You have a very dreamy idea of relationships, and sometimes you're too gullible and you'll be taken advantage of. But this is also our 8th house, which is where we learn the rules, the walls, the boundaries of making relationships work for us, keeping the ones that are good because we are able to set the boundaries and we're not manipulated out of our boundaries. Jupiter being here at this time is going to be strengthening you if you're doing it right for the next year. Jupiter is going to be strengthening this energy of how you're setting the boundaries within these relationships, or showing you over and over again where you're doing it wrong. Jupiter is just like any other planet. It does not really care if it's positive or negative. It can only give you what you feed it. But Jupiter is manifestation and Jupiter is abundance. So your relationships can grow and flourish if you are using Jupiter in that positive way to bless you. But if you are not using it with the proper rules, walls, and boundaries, the knowledge of how to set these, because of Jupiter being here and putting yourself just as important in these relationships, then he will help it grow. But if you're not, he's going to keep showing you where you're doing it wrong until you flip it over and you do it right. On your 10th house is where the North Node just moved. The North Node is everything you need to move, everything you need to know in order to move forward. Sorry, I kind of jump all over, but that's the way it works with me. The North Node is everything you need to know in order to move forward during this year in this life at this time. And it is now moving into Taurus. For you, that's the 10th house. It, on a universal scale, is the 2nd house. So we need to marinate these two. The 10th house is the authority of the outer world. It is where your honor and your reputation is shown, what you're known for, how you're viewed. But it's also your career, your financial ability. It's your social foundations. It's the political arena. It's the authority of the outer world. And are you in any of that authority or not? This is why I said it's also ruled by the universal 2nd house, which is still Taurus, but on a universal level. This is talking about your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. So the only way that the ruler of your life becomes the ruler, which is you, is by being the proper king or queen. And you're a Leo, so you understand this theory. In order to have a good kingdom that you are happy to have, you must be the best king or queen that you can be. If you do not like the way the outer world is set, change it by being the authority and not allowing yourself to be manipulated by it. Stand in your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, because this is part of what the lesson is for the North Node in Taurus, is teaching you how to stand and create what you want in your 10th house, to create the outer world to reflect what you want from your inner world. And understanding that this is how you strengthen and you start to become the boss of your own life and the boss of your own reality, instead of somebody else out there being the boss over you. Not to mention, this is where you're going to be tripped up, especially over this year, because you have the South Node, which is everything that you're really good at, but it's not good for you, just moved into Scorpio. And Scorpio is your 4th house. That is your inner emotional security. That is the root of what built you to be who and what you are, whether it was nourished properly or not. And we're looking at how do we strengthen the structure of our inner emotional security. This can be a very positive thing, but you have to understand Scorpio also full on attacks. It's like a fire sign. Scorpio energy is what I like to call Sherlock Holmes, like a sexy Sherlock Holmes, and wants all the best of everything. But at the same time, I'm going to investigate everything about everything. And if you keep picking at every little thing, well, then you will pick it apart. But at the same time, we're talking about our inner emotional security. So pick it apart so that you get to the root of healing it and acknowledging what you have to strengthen. But don't get in the pity party about it, because Scorpio, like I said, can get into that backlash really easy. Not to mention, on a universal scale, it is the 8th house of setting the rules, the walls, the boundaries of the relationships by embracing, going back to your 4th house, which is where it is for you, by embracing yourself, your inner emotional security, the true you, the authentic self that cannot be changed. It's just, have you found it? Have you explored it? Have you spoken to it? Are you embracing it? So set time, set rules, walls, boundaries for you to be you, for you to love you, for you to honor you. And then it will strengthen the relationships because you honor you. So the outer world will also start honoring you better. And if they're not in that kind of relationship, that proper give and take, then kick them to the curb. This is all about strengthening who you are from the inside out. It is not just the home, but it's the inner child. And you have to nurture the child that's in you. You still need to have time for fun. You still need to have time for play. You still need to have time for enjoyment. Because if you can't honor that, well, what do you really think you're going to build? Mercury retrograde is in your 7th house. This is the relationship zone. This is Aquarius, directly across from you. This is Mercury will be going retrograde on the 14th. And then on the 25th, it will actually be jumping back into Capricorn. So it's going to go from the 7th house back into the 6th house. So I'm looking at the next month and a half-ish of shadow, retrograde, shadow, coming back forward. Okay? Mercury, at the moment, is kind of in your head at the darker aspects, looking outwardly at the relationships, kind of checking the list off. Is this person good in my life? Is this person not? Is this person done me ugly? Is this person not? Is this person, you were viewing our relationships, but when it's in shadow, we kind of seeing the darker aspects of people, which is also typically usually in the mirroring aspect, acknowledging the darker aspects of ourselves and what we have to heal within ourselves within these relationships, as well as our relationships. But remember, like I said, midway through on the 25th, it's going to dip back into your sixth house. This is why I'm telling you, this is a full on mirror. This is a full on mirror about knowing who you are and making sure that your daily mundane is supporting your inner emotional security and where you're trying to grow to, what you're trying to achieve, because it starts with the mundane and then it goes into your communication with yourself. Remember, when Mercury retrograde is in retrograde, typically people return to us. We're talking about the seventh house going into the eighth house, seventh house going into the sixth house. And this is speaking to you about if someone's returning, is it really because they're meant to return? Or is it more of, are you getting the lesson right? And then what will that do to your mundane? What will that do to your daily structure? What will that do to your self confidence, your self worth, your self value, your self esteem before you just let anybody willy nilly back in? I love you guys. Bye. I will see you next month.